this is on day 24 under the classwork tab. So students, today will be able to convey, or you guys will be able to convey the importance of good, not only good hygiene, but also self-care. We're going to work on generating our own self-care plan, and I'll give you a lot of ideas that might be helpful. You might even be doing some self-care. Does anyone think they're already doing self-care maybe? Here and there? Maybe a little bit. Self-care isn't just taking a shower or brushing your teeth. Those are important things, but self-care extends beyond the basics. Self-care also encompasses how we take care of our soul, our overall well-being. How do we take care of ourselves, especially if, you know, some of you guys work and you go to school? Where's the self-care? So a lot of people think self-care is making sure you smell okay, or making sure you, what else? Making sure you brush your teeth or brush your hair. Self-care extends beyond basic needs like eating and sleeping, all of that. So overall with hygiene, we talk about this as well, just to make sure everyone's good with it. But the importance of being cleanly is it really does help promotes overall health and lowers our risk of disease and illness and medical conditions. So good ways to practice hygiene versus self-care is taking showers or baths, brushing teeth, washing our hair, our hands with soap and hot water, wearing clean clothes, covering our mouth or nose when sneezing or coughing, and wearing deodorant. So there's a little web quest on here, which I think I accidentally did it for you. So sorry, but for future terms, I'll try to not do that. But yeah, in general, you can work on that. If yours is blank, if yours is filled in, my apologies. I will go back and empty that out. But basic hygiene is probably stuff we've known since we were a little kid, right? I think we all know the basics of keeping ourselves cleanly and the importance of that. It's important not to judge people too, though, because some people may be going through something tough in their life and may not even have the means to meet their basic needs. So I always try to remind myself of that I never know where someone's coming from or what their situation is, and maybe they might need some additional help. So trying not to judge. So what's the importance of practicing self-care beyond our basic hygiene? I always love this quote, and I try to live by this. You can't pour from an empty cup. So if I come to school and I'm like giving my all into my job, which yeah, I get paid for it, so I should, right? But if I keep trying to fill other people's cups, but I don't fill my own cup, then I just feel like low energy. I'm not able to give my best to you guys. So like in the beginning of the term, if I don't take time for myself, I'll burn out. So that's why self-care is really important, to not only keep our body healthy, but to keep our mind healthy. And self-care looks different for everybody. So it helps us to maintain a healthy relationship with ourselves, which in turn helps us to have a healthy relationship with others. If we give our body and mind, the key word is mind, not just body, time to rest, reset, and rejuvenate, we can avoid anxiety and stress as well, which we talked about yesterday. So this is a big list of potential self-care techniques. This list is not the whole thing. You may have other ideas of things that help you to feel fulfilled and help you to feel happy with yourself, not only physically, but mentally. So you can think about, while you're looking at this list, maybe you think, what do I do when I'm really stressed out to give myself a little mental break? Or what do I do for myself that maybe other people don't do for themselves? What are some things I do for myself that make me feel good about myself, that promote my overall health and well-being, but also make my brain happy? What helps release that serotonin in the brain for you? What creates that happiness chemical or that relaxation effect? Some people, physical touch is important. Maybe they go get massages done, or maybe enjoy hugs. If you have a partner, maybe you guys hug or embrace more than maybe other partners do, or you have friends who hug you. That can be self-care. Getting enough sleep, I would argue that that's more on the hygiene side than self-care. But sometimes it does feel good to sleep in on a Saturday morning and get a couple extra Z's, or Sunday, whenever works for you. Eating a balanced diet, but occasionally self-care could be going all out and making something that looks really good, and you put your good energy into making that. I think it was everybody I keep seeing making this like feta cheese tomato thing. I know it sounds weird. We were talking about cheese the other day, but I keep seeing people make this feta cheese tomato thing on Instagram, and I'm like, okay, it looks good, it looks okay. So yeah, but if it makes them happy and it's maybe a bonding activity, I love cooking with my partner. I know that he doesn't really care too much for that, but for me, quality time is important, so that can be self-care. Learning to say no can be self-care. So if you're a person who says, well, I don't know what I do with self-care. Well, do you ever say no to things, or do you always say yes? If you always say yes and notice yourself burning out, a self-care step could be learning to say no a few times a week. Drinking plenty of water, maybe challenging yourself to drink more. Maybe you like to listen to music. That can be self-care. Turning on your favorite playlist on your Spotify or Google. Well, Google Play doesn't exist anymore. So your Spotify or your YouTube Music. Meditating. Like you might have a bolster or a favorite chair that you like to sit on, maybe a pillow, and you just give yourself a couple minutes to sit quietly. Maybe that feels good. Some people enjoy reading or taking hot baths, going for long walks. Some people enjoy seeing movies as self-care. I really enjoy planning outings with my friends or my partner. I'm getting excited about him coming home to go on trips together. So a lot of people will plan things to do with friends or family, and that makes them feel like they're taking care of themselves, taking vacations, going on a weekend trip. Some people like playing board games. I don't know if you guys do. I get a little competitive. Anybody play board games? I do a little bit. You do? Yeah. Some people that maybe is not self-care because maybe they get stressed out. But if you enjoy that and that helps you kind of relax and feel like you're taking care of yourself, that's a great one. Drawing, writing, or coloring. A lot of us enjoy that tactile experience. Anybody cooking or baking make them feel more relaxed? Yeah, awesome. I love making cookies. Oh, that used to be my thing in high school. Like, ooh, feeling a little stressed out. Let's bust out the chocolate chips. Some people like yoga, like me. I want to say thank you for everyone for trying that. And I know that a few people said, hey, I think I'm going to try that again. There's working out. There's different workouts. So like next week, we'll do a couple. We'll have Mr. Nick and Miss Chelsea show us just a 5-minute little, I think Mr. Nick's might be 15 minutes, but some moves to help us channel our energy and find the workout that works for you. You guys are still kind of, well, it depends. I don't want to classify your age, but we come from a variety of ages. Sometimes as we age, our metabolism might slow. We may need more activity in our life. Sometimes it gets faster and you need something that builds more strength and stamina, or you find yourself getting tired. So finding a workout that works for you is self-care for not only your body, but your mind. Dancing. Anybody dance or sing or any of the creative arts? Anybody play instruments? I'm not much of a dancer, but that Zumba was really fun that Miss Chelsea and I practiced, and maybe someone will like that. Anybody part of a community team or have like a community group? Like everybody does kind of the same thing, like we like to go skating at the skate park, or we go to, is there a roller rink still around here? Yeah, some people do that. Maybe you're in a group that likes to do art or sculptures. A group that gets together and plays music. Having a support system can be self-care. I'm more extroverted. So for me, a community feels better when I'm not alone all the time. Someone who might be more introverted, self-care might be spending so much time alone so they feel replenished for their next group interaction. So self-care can be saying no and spending time alone, watching your favorite show even can be self-care. What else we got? Having lunch in the park. So having picnics can be nice. You guys ever do those with your partners? Have a nice picnic. It's getting nice outside. That is a very romantic thing. You guys, any of you guys? It can be a friend thing too. My friends and I go on picnics. They bring their kids. It's a nice way to get outside and have to have your mask on while you're spaced out. Going to the beach or on a hike. Anybody a hiker in here? Turkey Run, Shades, any of the national parks? Anybody go to those things? I want to travel more. Turkey Run's nice. Oh, you don't like it? I like it, but it's probably not the best compared to some other places. What's your favorite part?
I hate it there so much.
You don't like it?
No, I hate it so much.
Why do you hate it?
I had to go there for a field trip in like 5th grade. It was really muddy. It really sucks, and I fell in the mud. I just wanted to like
Oh,
go home
yeah.
and sleep because I was so tired, and I had the worst time.
After it rains there, it's not very fun. You're right. You got to go on a sunny day because even some parts you got to wear rain boots.
I hated it, but I go to the trails and down around.
The trails? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
my dog really likes it there.
Oh, I'm gonna have to write that. Maybe I'll take my dog this
And there's
weekend.
water, so he likes so cool.
Oh, that's all. They have dog paths, like paths you can walk your dog on.
No, it's just one.
Just one.
But like, you might want to take 2 parts because it's not. It's like a straight.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, walking your dog or taking your dog to the park is self-care. So that's a really good self-care technique right there. They like it, you like it. That's awesome. Self-care in the finest, hanging out with your animals, petting them, having dinner or coffee with friends, even just sipping your coffee or tea quietly on a Saturday or Sunday morning. Very peaceful. I like to take my time and have a nice breakfast on the weekend, since I usually don't have breakfast during the week, or I gobble down something really quick. Texting, calling, or FaceTiming a friend. Anybody have any long distance friends that they do any FaceTiming with? Yeah. That can be fun. Yeah, that's self-care. I think texting and calling is fine. I know texting for me, sometimes there's like misinterpretation with texting. So it becomes a not self-care technique if me, my husband, or like me and my best friend are arguing. So you really got to make sure it's something that fulfills you. I'm more of a phone call FaceTimer. And sometimes the texting overwhelms me. So it depends on the day. Planning a trip, getting manicures or pedicures can be nice for anybody, or doing your own nails. And it doesn't have to be, one gender or the other. Like that is very practical and peaceful for people. If gifts are your love language, buying a small gift for yourself can be self-care too. So we're going to work on creating our own self-care plan. Originally, I made it something like you wanted to do the activity every day for a week. Yet I'm not going to do it that way. You can pick, I think it's 5 things you want to do, and then it can be something you do once a month, something you do once a week, or maybe it's something you do every day, every other day. It just kind of depends on what it is. So you can use this list. Did anybody see anything, or does anybody have a self-care technique that's not on the list that they use? Or implement? Did I put meditation on there? Yeah, okay. One of my favorite meditations, which is really good for, I know we've talked about anxiety and depression. I don't believe we talked about ADHD and focusing, but you know, like the slide I have, a really good meditation is gazing meditation. So you find an object like a light or an object, and you pretty much do some deep belly breathing while looking at the object. And you can set a timer on your phone and do it for like 5 to 10 minutes. And they say that it helps with concentration. It also helps prevent degenerative eye diseases. So if you wear glasses like me, it can be helpful. Or if you're prone to glaucoma or anything with the eyes, they say Himalayan salt lamps can help with allergies. I'm not sure how true that is, but the gazing meditation is very good for learning how to focus and ground. So if you do struggle with ADD or ADHD, that could be helpful. That could be a self-care technique. We talked about a lot of breathing methods in this class. So if there's a certain breath method that you like, the square breathing, the 4-7-8, the extended exhale, what other ones do we talk about? The alternate nostril, I don't know if we did that one, but that's a breath method. We did the Ujjayi, which is the wave breath. So if there's any breath methods from that PowerPoint on the Google Classroom that you want to use, you can put that down as self-care. Drawing. Sometimes even organizing a room in your house can be self-care. Anybody feel like they feel more grounded or relaxed after cleaning or organizing? Shopping can be self-care as long as you're not blowing all your money and then feel stressed out about it. So some people find shopping or picking out stuff for their home or for their closet can be fun. Someone asked about doing their makeup or hair in the other class. For me, that stuff doesn't really ground me or relax me. I just kind of do it. But if for you, it feels peaceful to really focus on your hair when you're doing it or your makeup, that could be a self-care technique. What else? Camping, anybody do any camping? We talked about hiking, but camping can be a self-care, going on a camping trip. Do you guys drive cars? Or do you mostly ride with people? Do you guys drive? You drive? Driving can be self-care. I mean, not racing down the road or anything, but driving, taking a nice long drive with the windows open. Did you have an idea, or are you just saying you do that too?
I'm just gonna say I'm learning, but I'm very scared.
So for you right now, while you're learning to drive, I agree with you. When I was first learning to drive, I had a lot of nerves, especially when we practiced getting on the expressway, because we practiced in a parking lot and there was like an outline of when you were getting on the expressway. It's really overwhelming. And then the first few times, even now when I get on the expressway, I still get a little nervous. I'm like, been driving for like 15, 16 years, but it's just one of those things that like if someone else is in the car, I get a little more nervous. So for me, driving is not peaceful, but if I'm driving and there's not a lot of cars out, or I have my music going, maybe it's more of a country road, it's kind of relaxing. I'd say that's a good drive to practice, right? Is that a county road more there? Or? It depends where you're coming from, right?
Yeah.
say. Do you enjoy driving though? Does it make you feel pretty like relaxed if you put some good music on, you're driving?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe going on a ride with somebody. What about looking up at the stars? Is anyone into astrology? I'm not really into astrology, my friend is, but does anyone lay down outside and look up at the stars? That's kind of self-care. If you have a hot tub at home, hashtag jealous. I want one of those. What else? There's so much stuff. I do yoga a few times a week, and that's my self-care, but I like to write in my planner. I don't know. Yeah, hang out with your animals and stuff. Your ferret yells at you?
No, my cat. He
Oh,
screams
you.
at me. Yes.
So is that self-care for you if she's yelling at you, or?
Usually she lays down and she's fine, but at first she yells. Too.
Okay. Well, yeah, animals are definitely self-care. They're very in tune with our emotions. I love that. Self-care can be a lot of things. Doesn't have to be working out or doing something physical. I do encourage you guys to find some fitness activity that you actually like, because as you get older, when health problems arise, it's good to have something that helps build your stamina. So when you're walking up the stairs like I am, you're not getting out of breath after that one drill we had. Yeah, it's good. Alexis, I didn't know if you typed anything in the chat, but I'll look. Is there anything anybody else sees that they want to include or add to this list? How do you practice self-care, Mr. James?
Sleep.
Sleeping, yeah.
Yes.
So getting a few extra Z's out of the ordinary can be self-care.
It's all.
Well, then that's more of a hygiene thing or a basic needs, essential needs. How do you practice self-care that goes beyond what your basic needs are to fill your own cup?
I like to be alone.
So taking some alone time, yeah, that's great. Good. What do you do in your alone time? Do you have a TV show you watch, or do you? Yeah,
Read or
read. Okay, that's wonderful. That's a great example, guys.
really,
Good job.
what really relaxes me is playing classical music and read.
Love that.
Yeah.
We did, I play like the high frequency music, like this one was for relaxation, and then we made these trees today. Well, I made them. They have some different sketches, but it's things we want to let go of and things that help us feel grounded. Pretty cool, right? You want to sign a copy?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you have to feed her, right? If we,
Yeah. I do.
she comes almost all the time.
Yeah, she's been doing great.
I think she's gonna do helping to eat it.
Awesome.
I think
love
she
that.
did. I think having somebody hold her like that in the class might help. Might be really good.
Good inspiration.
She came to us with no credit.
Wow.
Never been, she had,
She's earned everything here.
yes. So she's got a lot of life stuff
Wow.
because of that. So I think doing that in the class is good.
Yeah.
And she liked the class.
Yeah, I definitely need to amp up the physical activity. It's supposed to be a week-long unit. We did yoga on Monday and everybody tried it. And you guys did great. You did great. We went outside, and then Ms. Chelsea gonna come today, but we want to make sure we're all dressed appropriately, and we're gonna do a Zumba thing. And then Mr. Nick's gonna teach us karate on Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know now not to mess with that.
Yeah, he's a karate master. Well, if you guys have questions, let me know, okay?